we had some wind come through, we located several trees on Virginia, on Graybeard. Thanks to the street department for coming and getting those off the road and opening up the roads. On the 15th, we worked 3 wrecks on Assembly Drive due to extreme icy conditions. I don't think I've ever seen that snake. Solid sheet ice. We did 2 rescues of vehicles stuck. On the 16th, 2 of the Montreat officers started their mandatory in-service class, which includes juvenile sensitivity, use of force, and North Carolina laws reference firearms. Also on that date, we assisted. The fire department always does a clearing before the Mount Mitchell run, and we assisted in that sweep, that safety sweep, going from Appalachian Gate to the Parkway. On the 19th, we had a call of a break-in on Mississippi. We went to that resident. The door had either been pushed or kicked. There was nothing disturbed or taken of the residence. A report was declined. Officers did a sweep of that area on other houses, a total of 6 of the residents, and all were found secure. Also, on that same day, we responded to a disturbance call on Virginia Road. The situation was resolved. On the 22nd, the bridge got hit again. Every 5 years it happens, somebody decides they're going to fit the truck through the gate. The gate, I'm sorry. Gate. Every about 5 years, they decide to figure they could fit. This guy looked at it and decided he could do it. Reports were taken. MRA was contacted, a structural engineer came in, and it was determined to close that gate. Also at the same time we had that wreck, we had onlookers. We had another wreck where they hit a vehicle in the rear end, so we took that report. I want to make sure that everybody realizes we've stopped 25 people in the last 2 days. We have got a bad situation at the gate. We're trying to be as kind as possible on the stop signs going out on Assembly. The stop sign at the truck route is a left stop sign, and we've had 3 almost T-bones because people aren't stopping. The cars are coming down Kanawha. They're not turning right, going towards Black Mountain. They're coming straight. Well, cars are running that. So we are stopping, and we will be issuing citations. We've almost had 3 rear end wrecks there also. So we need to at least look at that and abide that one, because that Kanawha has the right of way. And we've also had people stop to turn. Well, people are so used to running through it, they've almost hit the car in the rear end. So if everybody can warn everybody and tell everybody that that's critical. Like I said, the other stop signs people have asked about covering those up. That's muscle memory, and we need that. It slows people down no matter what they do right there, so we're trying to slow that down. On the 24th, during the day and night shift, we had some heavy winds. We removed branches throughout town, limbs, trees. On the 26th, we staged 15 fire department vehicles that went up. They go the night before, they set up for the race. They set up checking stations. They set up medical stations all the way to the top. As you know, and read in the Black Mountain paper, the Parkway would not allow them. They stopped at the gate on the Parkway. They would not allow them to go on up because they had closed that section. And there was 10 inches of snow, and they wouldn't let the runners go there, so they had to turn back and come back. The Mount Mitchell Marathon had 471 runners. On the 27th, we assisted those runners from the gate to Rainbow until the last. We also did an ICS command station at the top of Appalachian. So in case we need to take people out, or they had 4-wheelers up there to bring people out, they could meet the helmets there. Charlie Russell was IC command for the fire department up there. We only had 1 runner come out medically. He was transported off the mountain, transported by ambulance. I want to thank all the fire department and the volunteers. The other mission that I want to do is on the 16th of April, Monterey College, a student coordinator is have an event that we're kind of actively assisting. It's a health event, and it's a fair, and it's a fun run that will take place from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Anybody that wants to, my understanding, wants to come up there, most of it's going to be around Gaither Chapel. They're going to have health stations, different setups up there, but they're also going to have a run starting at 8:30 that's going to the gate. Most of that run is going to be off-road. It's not closing any of the roads. We're going to assist with the start, but it's coming down Texas, going on the nature trail, and then back up the bike trail. And the reason we did the bike trail instead of the other side of the road is we have 6 intersections, and on the other side we have 2. So we felt it was more safer. They do not know, they haven't given us any indication of how many participants are going to have in that. But there is no road closure, and it should not interfere with any traffic. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Jack. I'm glad you didn't tell them about our encounter this week. I'm trying to help a neighbor out, and I miscued the alarm, and the alarm went off, and Jack comes. Jack starts in the garage and comes face to face with the guy coming out, and asks the guy, says, "Are you the one I shoot?" And the guy says, "No, let me go get him." Came and got me. So thanks, Jack. It's always a pleasure when Jack comes to your house. Steve Freeman, Public Works Director.
Thank you, Mayor. We started graveling the gravel roads this month, getting the worst spots on it. We did Oklahoma and Texas Spur, and we will continue to keep on doing that as the weather permits. The winter may not be over with, but we are working on that. And I don't know if everybody's noticed or not, but we did the culvert repair down on Shenandoah there. We've got that completed, and we put more split rail fence in there and had Mike and them do some landscaping there. Trees have also been coming up Assembly Drive, cleaning all that up and getting all that back into shape for spring. Finally, Ron and I met with the FEMA auditor earlier this month. He went through the audit of the Graybeard well replacement, which was the only large project we had in that. We had a few small ones also, but the large one requires when we've completed it, that they come and do an audit on all the paperwork and check everything over. Well, he came on a Friday morning and met with us, went through real thick paperwork on everything, and he was well pleased with everything. So I'm happy to report we should be getting a check for around $34,000 for reimbursement on that.
Well done. Thank you, Steve. Any questions to Steve?
Just, again, thank you to Public Works. Really nice rock work down there at the base of Shenandoah, and I think some rock work is being done over on the walking bridge on the walking path at the base of Shenandoah, done by our own employees, so real experts. Looks great.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank y'all. Steve Stackhouse, Finance Officer.
Thank you. You have your usual set of financial reports. For the summary report for through January 2016 in the general fund, we're running at very close to maybe a little bit above what we had last year. 1,066,596 in revenues. Expenses are a little bit under last year, 807,843. And so far for the year, we're showing a surplus of 258,752. The water fund, running above last year, 267,834 in revenues, and the expenses slightly under last year, 78,705. So we're looking at a surplus so far for the year of 189,129. Of course, these figures change every month. then you also have your cash and investments report through February 29th. And this is just about the peak of the year for account balances. And total for all accounts is $2,928,635. And year-to-date, we have earned $981 in interest. That is starting to creep up a little bit.
Any questions of Stephen? No questions, Stephen, thank you. Building Inspector David Curry.
For the March zoning and building inspections report, there were 2 zoning permit applications and 1 sign permit that came in. All 3 of those were approved. 9 building permit applications came in. 1 of those is still pending, and 8 of those were approved. There were 48 building inspections requested and 6 re-inspections for a total of 54 that were conducted that month. The Planning and Zoning Commission did not meet last month, neither did the Board of Adjustment. Neither of them had any agenda items, but I believe in April we will see the Planning and Zoning Commission meet. There were some changes that occurred. I just recently attended the North Carolina Association of Zoning Officials workshop this past month, and they brought us up to date on a lot of legislative changes that have occurred. One of those is a sign ordinance is going to undergo some pretty radical changes based on how the laws have changed and some case law that's come down. So we're going to have to do quite a bit of work on our sign ordinance this next month. But unless there are any other questions, that concludes my report.
Any other questions of David? Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. That concludes the administrative reports. Public comment. Richard Dubose, this is you. Now. Sorry I confused you earlier.
I wasn't going to move until you told me.
Thank you.
So again, I was asked to make a statement on behalf of the MRA on our opinion on the Texas Road Bridge, and I wrote it out in case anybody cares. 1 second after I quit talking, you can come read it for yourself. Since last fall, when I have been asked about the Texas Road Bridge, I have said that I would prefer a bridge be built connecting Texas Road to Assembly Drive. I believe that a new bridge would add to the convenience of our guests and conferees and to our efforts to serve anyone in town engaged in MRA activities. 3 additional comments. 1, I don't believe, after careful consideration, that a bridge on Texas Road is essential to the MRA's financial or programmatic future. If it were, I would have been more aggressive in advancing that position long before tonight. 2, if the town decides to move forward with the bridge, we hope that the planners and town reps will take our opinions into account as they have in the past. At this point, the choice commonly known as the Tennessee Road option seems to be the least disruptive to MRA activities. 3, regarding issues of public safety, costs of a proposed bridge, the impact of the council's decision on future bridges, we get conflicting information and opinions just like everyone else seems to. I trust that the council is better positioned to weigh these concerns than I am. I am not speaking for our board tonight, but I feel sure that they would follow my lead on this. Good luck with your deliberations. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, Richard. All right, any other public comment on items that are on the agenda? You'll come up, state your name. Try to hold it to 3 minutes.
Rob, is this on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Robin Melvin, 246 Texas Road, Spur. Robin Melvin. Tilt it toward me, like that? Okay. I know there's been a lot of discussion recently about the Texas Road Bridge location. And there's been discussion about the fact that the bridge in the current location could possibly be lowered. And I just wanted to remind the community and the town council that the height of the bridge was only one of the few concerns that we think the community has had about the bridge. Number one, we don't know how low it would be. It would still be very wide, 42 feet wide. It would also require a retaining wall and would compromise the use of the Welch Field for the many groups that use it now. It's probably the largest flat green space in Monterey that's used by everyone. And Another problem with that is you're closing it in, and your access to the bridge as it stands now, the way it's designed, is only at Assembly Drive. So there's a safety issue involved in that with people, young people, conferees, children, and even it was recommended by DOT that Tennessee was a much safer location than the Texas Road Bridge location. The other thing that I would like to add that is very important is that, in my opinion and many other Montreaters, it would be a huge eyesore because of the size and breadth of the construction. And we feel like it might be one of the biggest mistakes that Montreat would make if we constructed it in that location. So on behalf of the majority of Montreaters, I would implore you to take the current Texas Road Bridge location off the table. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could make a response to.
That we're not gonna respond.
Oh, I thought we had decided at a retreat that we would do that.
No, I thought that was during the
No,
talking back and forth during the forum thing we had last week that we would be addressing back and forth. in
I'm
that
sorry, I
conversation.
misunderstood, because I understood that we did have permission to speak after the comment time.
Well, we'll be here all night if we do that.
I do understand that, but I did think that, but if that's the wish, I'm good with that.
Is that the wish of the council? Do you want to respond to everyone that comes up and talks? You're welcome to if you want to, just tell me.
Okay.
No, okay.
Sorry, Robin.
Who's next?
Alice Lentz, 115 Eastminster Terrace.
Alice. Hold it right about there.
Okay, is that better? I read the following at the request of Ashton Phelps, Jr., 433 Kentucky Road, as Ashton cannot be at this meeting tonight. Quote, I was appalled to read the letter of December 22nd, 2015, from Mike Cox of ADS to the town of Montreat. In my view, the ADS fee requests in that letter reflect the same type of disregard for Montreat taxpayer dollars, which was reflected in the work done by ADS for the town of Montreat, a level of such disregard for Montreat taxpayer dollars that might well have been a key cause of the projects being halted. Montreat citizens don't appreciate their tax dollars being wasted and poorly used. Perhaps most flagrantly outrageous in the Cox letter of December 22nd was the request for ADS to get ADS profit on work that was never performed, the negotiations of a construction contract and the administration of such contract for the construction of a building. I believe that a firm that makes such requests tarnishes its reputation far beyond any immediate benefits it might seek to obtain. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Mike Sonnenberg.
Let her go.
Nan.
Want to go first? Okay.
I think that's Nan. Let me put on my glasses. Okay.
Nan Clark, 558 Providence Terrace. First of all, thank y'all, the new town commissioners and mayor, for the important leadership you're giving to us at this time, this critical time, so many decisions. I don't envy you one single bit, so thank you for all the time that you put into this. I'll try to read this without my glasses. Okay, during the past 2 years, as many of you know, I've often spoken up against the proposal on the signage plan and ordinance. That plan, as originally presented, called for an end of the wonderful informal signs that we've used in Montreat for generations. Turn over here to the wedding. Welcome Central Presbyterian Church. You're almost there. And all these wonderful signs and a lot more creative signs. I objected many times last year and a few years to the substitution of these creative signs for a bland, gated community conformity. A few large signs to control carefully information in Montreat. I also objected because the cost to build the new signs was $25,000. If you notice from that thing, and I was so glad to see it on the bottom of the list, close to it. It's now $20,000 for this year, but it's at the bottom priority. That's good. It was an outrageous amount for me in this little community. I now see in the general fund budget, which we saw tonight, prepared last fall, there is a project called the Wayfinding Signage Plan that calls for $20,000 this year's budget. Total project cost of $136,000 for signage in Montreat. And as I understand it, the large part of this money is for 2 humongous signs, one on each side of the road. Not sure where the location would be, but you can imagine. This astounding fact is outrageous to me. The proposal, I almost left me speechless, but I'm not quite speechless yet. Okay. 1 minute. I object for 2 reasons. One, it would be out of the character with Montreat. I grew up on the coast of South Carolina near Pawleys Island, and maybe some of you know Pawleys Island. Quaint little place, still has great little place. You don't see all those big signs. You see a lot of people who've been going there for hundreds of years, kind of like Montreat. It's not like some of those other gated communities on the beach, where all the signs look alike. You don't know which beach you're on, which resort you're in. Montreat's not a resort, it's a retreat. And we come here to get away from all those signs. It's too much clutter going around on the roads, in my estimation. The neon signs, and I mean, we need a break from that when we come to Montreat. 30 seconds. Second, the cost of $136,000 is a lot of money to me. Oh, I'm over. Well, I vote that you keep that signage priority way down there, okay?
Thanks, man. You were doing fine till you got off on Pawleys Island. I think that's where you lost your train of thought.
Pawleys Island. It's a great place.
Who's next? Mike Sonnenberg?
He's up.
Okay. Come on up. Somebody.
Bob Cunningham, 162 Virginia Road. I want to talk about the bridge. All right. The chief of police favors building a bridge for safety reasons. Yes, safety is very important. And there are many ways to measure safety. For example, 1, the length of time it takes to clear a dangerous area. We're here at a town council meeting, 50 people about. Suppose the chief heard through his phone that there was a problem. There would be fire at Lookout Mountain, and that everybody should leave immediately and leave Montreat as quickly as we can. So we go to our cars and we get some head down down Assembly Drive, and others, assuming that the Texas Road Bridge has been completed, we go that way. Now, who's going to get there quicker? How much time is it going to take going 2 directions, the same direction, going 2 different ways? All right, here you have to go down, and to get out of the gate, you've got to go up and get back on Assembly Drive. And you can get there either by the new bridge or go a little further on the extension bridge and on Texas Road Extension. And you can turn, but you have to turn left